Hello, today I'll be reviewing Codename Verity by Elizabeth Waynes. This book is about um, two British girls, a British spy and a British pilot, who both crash land in Nazi-occupied France. And the spy is kidnapped by the Gestapo, and she is tortured to tell them everything she knows about the British and what they plan to do to France, World War II. So once she is kidnapped, they pretty much ask her to give them all the information that she possibly knows, and she says, "Fine. The only thing I ask is for you to give me clothes," because by this point she is stripped to her underwear. So she starts off the story by doing it in third person so that she doesn't feel so attached to the actual story, as she says so in her part of the book, because there are two parts. And she is starts off with this girl named Maddie, and Maddie is this girl from a small town, and she is kind of a tomboy. She loves motorbikes. She loves fixing things, and it's not ladylike, according to the 1930s, 1940s. And she discovers a pilot, and she is later enrolled into pilot school, in which she learns how to be a citizen pilot, which helps her gain. And then she introduces Queenie, which is this really pretty Scottish woman, and she and the pilot become best friends all of a sudden. And the story goes that they are together for a little bit of while during the London Blitz, and then after that they kind of separate. They go their different ways. Maddie goes to be a pilot, and Queenie goes somewhere else, and they don't know where she is until later on in the book. She mentions that Queenie is just a weird, different kind of job, a job that must be kept secret because she is obviously a spy, and Maddie's not supposed to know. And so she so Maddie flies her from place to place, to complete these missions, and that is pretty much how the book goes. And then later on in the book, it talks about Maddie's life, mainly Maddie meeting Jane, who is also a pilot, who is Queenie's brother, and they do make a lot of references to Peter Pan all the time whenever she's gonna fly the plane. Second start to the right, and then straight till morning, which I think is really creative, and I really love that part because it does give me reference of, oh yeah, they're flying to Neverland. They're gonna go somewhere where they're happy, which is for Maddie flying a plane. And then she does mention a lot of what goes on and how she is treated. She does mention some kind of rape accusation with a chef that is inside a prison cell, which her prison cell is inside of a hotel, a very famous French hotel. And she does mention a few things like that. And then later on, closer to the end, she mentions that she is meant to be in an interview to say, oh yeah, over here they're not even treated as prisoners, they treat us like guests. And obviously she is lying. So it kind of goes on, and it kind of tells Maddie's story. And then near the ending, we find out that she is not Maddie. She is the best interrogator for the British people. She is so good at interrogating people that someone got away, and they mentioned her to all the Nazis, and every Nazi is afraid of her so badly. And she has to face von Lydon, who is the kind of the captain of this corporation inside where she is imprisoned. And they kind of have a fight off between words and what you could get out of each other, she ends up getting his daughter's name, and his daughter is the same age as the spy. Um, so, I mean, it's very much of a very subtle kind of fighting, and it's constant battle between the Nazis, the Nazis and the French, and the revolutionaries and the British. We find out that the spy, her name is Julie, and that she is going to be killed at the very end. That is where the part 1 stops, which part 1 is called Verity. Part 2 is called Kitty Hawk, which is the story of the pilot and how she is in France, and she's looking for Julie, and she doesn't know where she is. And it's pretty much her journey about knowing the culture of the people who are there, and really getting to know who's in power, and really getting to see what is going on, and at first hand, because she has never been like this. She's a pilot. She's supposed to just drop her off, pick her up, take her back. Drop her off, pick her up, pick her back up, and then drop her off again. And she is there because obviously the plane crash landed, and she works with a lot of people that she later on becomes close with, and she has a plan, and it is to complete Julie's mission. And one day she tries to rescue Julie because she's being taken off to concentration. So as Julie is being taken off to the concentration camp, Maddie hides behind, like, with a rifle, I suppose, trying to kill the Nazis that have her there inside a vehicle. So they make a wonderful plan, which is to bomb a bridge so that their car gets stuck, and Julie could escape. But it doesn't end up going that way, and Maddie ends up doing something she is so sad about doing, which is killing her best friend. And that really pains her, and so she later on is like about like revenge, and she says, I have to finish Julie's mission. She came here for something. She came here to do good, and I'm gonna do it for her. I'm gonna finish it for her. And I'm not gonna tell you the end of the story, because that is where I want you to be at, and that is what I want to find out. So I do recommend, highly, highly, highly recommend Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wayne. Please read it. It is such a good book. I will have the link down below in the description bar of where you could get it, and enjoy and try not to cry. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.